This video is going to be a fundamentals video of sorts. I would say an introductory to understanding when to smoke and when to gank.
Banana slam jam.
I'm going to give the precursor that Dota is all about area of farming, how many creep camps you can farm, how many creep waves you can farm, and where you're going to farm and when. So the first step of this video is to bring to your attention the basis for when you can think you should smoke. And hopefully I can bring it to your attention to the point where in your games you can start looking out for it and over time hone it. So I want to say that there are smokes that specifically occur because you see the opponent roshing or team fight, like a team fight's being set up 5-on-5. So we're going to ignore those smokes for now because those are kind of just situational from game to game. But I've been playing Party Q with Kali, and she's about 4K. After playing 5 to 10 games there, I've kind of realized stuff that 4K core players 100% don't think about, meaning that if a core player doesn't think about it in 4K, that means the supports also get virtually no experience or exposure to this. The goal is to hopefully help cores think about when they want to smoke, and also then they can communicate it better. And then supports, when they're thinking of bringing their cores into smokes, can kind of understand why cores would want to smoke. And hopefully you guys can maybe play duo queues to get some good practice with this, because I think it can go a long way in terms of your MMR as well as your understanding of Dota. Oftentimes I ask myself if my hero is capable of being active and doing something in the game. And so when I'm playing Chaos Knight, I don't really want to gank if I don't have my ultimate. A lot of carries are like this. Jug, Spectre, Chaos Knight, Faceless Void, maybe Monkey King. There's a lot of different examples. It can be a power spike with your ultimate. It can be a power spike with an item, with a specific level, like a talent. It can be all types of things, but every carry is a little bit different. So first, I'm going to recognize when I would be willing to do things. And then I'm going to recognize when I don't have any area to farm. So the further ahead that you can recognize this, the better. That's the goal. So in this one, I'm like, oh, my ultimate's up in 30 seconds, and they had a really farmed SF. He's 2-0, level 10, and I'm like thinking, this guy's really farmed, he's really squishy, so I have my ultimate in 30 seconds, which means I'm willing to do something, and then once I recognize that I'm willing to do something, I then recognize what would I do with that something. And since Chaos Knight's a great ganker, and I have a lot of stuns on my team, I'm thinking, let's smoke in 30 seconds. But also, does it have to be 30 seconds? That's the earliest I'm willing to smoke, right? Maybe I'd be willing to smoke 20 seconds from now because my ultimate would be off cooldown by the time we reach our destination. But then, let's just play this out a bit. But my specific communication was, I want to smoke in 30 seconds. And that's because, if you look at the map right now, I'm going to stack Ancients. I'm currently splitting Triangle Farm with my Drow. And in about 30 seconds, as you're going to see here, my ultimate's coming off cooldown, I'm gonna run out of space on the map to farm. Triangle's already farmed, Lion's farming top, and now I want to do something. It could have been even earlier because of the fact that I didn't kill Ancients fast enough. But the biggest emphasis of this entire thing is, if we stop for a second, the only farm on the map for me is here. And that's it for the next 30 seconds. And that's something that I recognized 30 seconds ahead of time. I'm like looking at the map and I'm thinking, wow, there's really nowhere to go. Earthshaker doesn't have Echo Slam, Lion's farming top, I would be stuck farming this and maybe defending mid right. But so this is a Party Q game, it's unranked, but the idea is gonna reign true throughout every game you play. Is there anywhere left to farm? So the reason why there was a miscommunication between Kali and I was that she was defending bottom, like a lot of supports do, and I had communicated that I wanted to smoke with her in 30 seconds with my ultimate. And then she was like, okay, I'm going to come to smoke, but if she TPs now, she has absolutely no mana and inability to help me. I'm realizing that in your guys' brackets, the 3, 4K, anywhere lower, honestly, probably most brackets, core players don't think like this. They don't think like, I'm going to smoke at this time because of this amount of farm that's available, and my abilities are available, which means supports aren't used to catering to this. I feel like in my bracket, the top tier support players, they understand based on the amount of farm that I have left that I want to smoke because there's nothing for me to farm. That's the biggest thing, right? There's nothing for me to farm. So as a support, if you can see your cores, look at your Earthshaker's Echo Slam cooldown, look at your Chaos Knight's Phantasm cooldown, and you can see that your Chaos Knight's like finishing off the Ancients, or he doesn't particularly have anywhere to go, and you can line up your ability to show up there at the same time that I am hitting my power spike, which in this case would be ultimate plus probably armlet, that would be perfect. But instead, she didn't really understand that, which is fine. And I'm understanding that my communication wasn't clear to her, and that means that the communication to you guys doesn't mean anything. That's what I'm trying to really hone in on this video, is that her job was to be at my side, full health, full mana, or like whatever capabilities that a hero needs in order to gank, right when my power spike hits. So that's the communication I'm trying to line up with this video amongst all core players and all supports. So that's the first example that I want to show you. We end up not being able to smoke gank at all because she TP's in with no mana. So let's go to another example that I want to show you where the support's trying to make something happen, but the core doesn't want to make something happen. And that's something that I think a lot of supports don't understand about, you know, why their cores aren't joining them for smokes, but then also why they think like they're getting ignored. And also sometimes why core players get sucked in to smokes that they don't want to be a part of. So as a core player, your job is to understand your own power spikes, but also like where you're looking to farm and why. And as long as you understand that you want to be farming at this current moment and there's farm for you to get, it's very easy to tell your supports, I don't want to smoke yet. I don't want to do anything yet. And just say, hey, I'm going to farm this and farm bottom. Then we can smoke, for instance. So we're going to show you this example now. So reminder that in the CK replay, I had the triangle to farm, and I didn't see anywhere else that I could really go, because my top lane was being farmed, mid lane was being pushed in, and my Drow was supposed to be there, but he died. I didn't really feel like there's anywhere for me to go once I farmed the Ancients. But if we look at this replay, as opposed to the other one, I've got an Ancient stack here, which I don't really farm efficiently unless I use my Focus Fire. I've got a big camp, I've got this camp, I've got this camp, mid lane's pushing in, which means the opponent's probably going to show there. And I've got the creep wave that's going to show up right here. I can point out where I'm going to farm for the next 40 to 50 seconds. I could easily paint an exact path of where I would want to farm. So in this case, Kali called for me to smoke because she sees that the entire enemy team is missing, and she wants to use her ultimate plus my ultimate in order to get a kill, because she's got Laguna Blade and I've got my Focus Fire. But the problem in this circumstance is I'm a core player and I want to farm, and if there's farm available to me, I don't really want to smoke unless I'm afraid of dying. So in this time around, she called for the smoke and I didn't actually say anything, which is my bad. And as a core player, if you want to farm, your communication back should be, I just want to farm this area and go bottom. That's what I should have said. It makes it very much clear. In this case, I don't want to smoke because I use my ultimate. I know I used my ultimate to farm, and there was a clear miscommunication between her and I. And this is what we're trying to avoid in all of your games. And as a core player and as a support player, if you guys can be even remotely on the same page about where you want to farm and why, this stuff is going to be avoidable. The TLDR of this entire video, the summary, is that smokes and ganks are in order to accrue more area on the map to farm. So you can become much more aware and understanding of when you're going to smoke or gank based on recognition of what areas on the map you have available to yourself to farm. And if you can paint out an exact path of where you're gonna go in the next 45 seconds to a minute, because you just look at the map and you see a creep wave, you see creep camps available, none of your team's there, you don't feel like it's dangerous, those generally aren't the good times to smoke. Those are the good times to just continue farming. But the moment that it looks like all the lanes are pushed in, or it looks like there's nowhere available for you specifically, and your hero is capable of ganking, like in the Chaos Knight game with my ultimate, or just any example with any hero, those are like the two triggers that you need to look out for in order to gank properly. So I really hope this video is going to help a lot of mid to lower tier MMR players, might even help higher MMR players for all I know. But yeah, guys, please work on your self-awareness of farm available on the map as a core and a support player, and that's going to help you a lot on when you decide to smoke gank. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that BS that I'm supposed to tell you. Thank you.